It is getting to be that time of year again where Halloween is in the air. And this, while it doesn't look like much here on the table, has been hands down really one of my most successful Halloween props. One that's been worked into numerous parties, a few high school dances. It's been around the block. And it was in need for a little TLC in love. It had gotten dropped and broken a corner. We're just fixing that up. But while it's apart, I thought I'd show you how to make it, and then you'd be able to create one of your own. And despite its inconspicuous beginnings here, it's actually a haunted mirror. And the framework is nothing but a plywood light box. And I'm using an old set of Christmas lights wired up to a big old push button switch. Okay, it's a little beat up and trashy right now, but it's been through quite a bit in its existence. But when I'm done, it will look like a plain, nondescript, yet perfectly legitimate mirror. And it invites you, when you come into the door, to check your makeup, make sure your costume is just right. And then there'll be a little sign right up here that says, test your fortunes. And I'm going to push that button. And then when you do, that regular plain old mirror lights up right in the beginning like someone has gouged all the way from the depths of hell a message just for you. And that's what we're building here today. Because what says Halloween better than a demonic message in your mirror?
The mechanics are very simple. It's a set of old Christmas lights that I have run crisscrossed back and forth here inside, attached to these little nylon wire loom clips. It really doesn't matter what you attach them to. In several strategic locations, I've bound the wire to keep it in sort of a net, because that's what I want. I want a general illumination inside when you push the button. Now, the button itself is a great big old push button switch. It's just something I had, but you could go to Home Depot and pick up some generic switch, even a regular light switch, although, be quite honest, a momentary switch is really the best course of action for you there. But any big 110 volt light switch. And what I have done is spliced into the Christmas light set and simply brought in my power, run from my power up through my switch to my plug, and then of course the other side of your power, either the white or the black, goes to the other side of the plug. And I can tell you that underneath this tape here that I've done to isolate it, what I've got is spade clips. Yeah, these Christmas lights had the weird funny plugs, so they don't, I guess, plug into other things but themselves. And I was able to find just regular spade clips. I'll show you a picture right here. Regular spade clips that pushed on to my plug. And that's how I've got it attached. And that's a perfectly fine solution. And I bound it up just to, it can't go anywhere, but just to keep things nice, safe, and secure. If you're too worried about it, simply use a battery-powered set. And, then you're only dealing with 8 or 9 volts. No big deal. I think what really sells this gag is its simplicity. It's not some big, complicated, overstated prank. It doesn't bring upon the viewer a fear or a foreboding or even a suspicion that they're about to be popped with something. It's just a mirror on the table when you come in. If it was, say, our high school dance, there'd be, our basic dress code and dance rules and refreshments and a bracelet and maybe some sort of glow sticky thing. And then it simply invites you, hey, check your makeup, make sure your costume's straight. By the way, would you like to see your fortune? And then you push the button and your next pops up out at you. Now here in this light, with coming straight down on it, you can see the your next scratched into the backside of the mirror. Your next. Though I can tell you that if there's any oblique light, if a room is dim in any ways, that is invisible in all forms. You need to find yourself a mirror that you can scratch the back of. This is a salvaged mirror from an old bathroom vanity. And that's a great source. It's nice, it's thick, it's vintage, it's kind of started to corrode on the sides. It gives it an aura of age and sophistication, right? On the back, you need a backing that can be manhandled. You're next. You're going to scratch right through that. So that's why those tall, thin paper mirrors really are not going to work quite right for you, because I don't know how you get to their mirror surface. That's why I recommend just an old bathroom vanity mirror. Go to a thrift store, go to yard sales, rip the door off your own bathroom vanity. Heck, you've been meaning to replace it anyways. So that's where I got this one, and it becomes the foundation for everything else. It's why I can't give you a nice cut list and everything and show you how I built the box, because your mirror is going to be different. They're all going to be different. You got to build your box to fit your mirror.
Some general tips for the construction of the base. All I did was plow a groove out in some plywood strips. I wish I'd used not hardwood necessarily, but I wish I'd used dimensional wood of some sort. Because after all these years of getting beat around, the plywood's a little splintering. The mirror just sits down in the groove. Nothing overly fancy about it. Thing you got to remember, it's not going to work properly in bright light anyways, so it's going to be pretty forgiving as far as your construction methods. Now I've got the repairs done and the mirror is set in place, so I just need to reattach it. I'm simply going to lay in some strip molding, and that's how I'd recommend that you build it as well. Just little beads around the outside edge. You can buy some prefabbed beading molding from, say, a Home Depot or a Lowe's, and that little bit of trim work will give it an additional air of authenticity and go a long ways to sort of negating any suspicion that might be aroused when your guests arrive. To attach the mirror to the frame, I'm using blobs of black silicone. Black is adhesive, but clear or black will work fine. Here you can see where I'm trimming it out with a double board. Give it a little bit of a bead board here with this inner piece. To be honest, it's just a spacer. And then some nice 70s deco 90-degree corner trim boards that'll slip in on either side and along the bottom. And I'm just going to let the top go. It'll be fine. It'll completely pass muster, especially in the dark. It will have a look of a sort of vintage, little beat up mirror. Fits in with a Halloween theme, and then pow! You're next. Simple mitered cuts down here, no big deal. And there you have it. Maybe touch up some stain a little bit, maybe a little bit of extra black paint, but more or less this old workhorse is ready to go back for her 5th year, I think, being used. And here we go with the final project. You're next. I can say that looking at the camera monitor, it shows up in real life much, 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 much better than it's showing up there on the camera. In fact, you can see it in regular room light as soon as you push the button that says You're Next. You can make it brighter by doubling up the Christmas lights inside. I've got a back on it, painted the inside of the back white, but there it is. Simple project, but this has been a workhorse, an absolute workhorse in all of our Halloween decorations. It looks unassuming. It's not some great big thing that you just know is a trap. This doesn't scream trap. This is this unassuming little thing, and it's got a button. And human nature says that if it's got a button, you got to push the button. And then it lights up and it tells you, you're next. It's a good idea. Make sure you have your proper English. U''re, because ghosts get their grammar correct. Okay, guys? Have fun at your Halloween party. Thanks for watching.